Hello everyone, your Royce here and welcome to our channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode, we're going to feature a controversial Sansevieria. It's having the name of Robuscula, although it was said that someone got it from the Philippines. I forgot who the name was, and claimed that it is a hybrid of Robusta and Pinguicula, but there are no foundations or proof regarding the claim, so we really can't assume that the parentage is as such just by looking. So by the way, this let's just call it by the name that's already famous with it. So this Robuscula is currently on top of my multi rack or my multi-layer plant rack, and it's currently on the topmost portion, which is very dangerous. And this one right here is hybrid Mina. It has already fallen down because cats would climb up there and would pounce on the plant. So this Robuscula is currently in danger. So what we'll do is we will have it planted somewhere else. We'll look for a place for us to plant it. So again, this is how the rack looks like. Perhaps by the end of the year or New Year, I'll feature how the garden has improved and how it has evolved from what I had shown you before on the first episode of the Sansevieria 101 channel. So right now is we're going to go to the location where I'm going to transfer the Sansevieria Robuscula. Andres right now is watering the plants, and we'll try to figure out where to replant it. I picked out this time of the day because during this time it's now shaded in the area, and it's good for us to plant. It's not very hot compared to the part that where I'm showing you. This part right here is on the other side. It's on the side of the wall, and we are planning to actually just remove this Sansevieria. It's one of the species, disticha or disticha, because I think I have multiple distichas on here. So actually this is also disticha or disticha. This is also disticha, but I can't memorize the collection numbers, so I think I'll have that other one removed and have Robuscula transferred to this location right here. So in the future we can compare it to this species, which is supposedly a Robusta species, but it's tagged as the dark green clone of Robusta. So this is how it looks like. It is really robust because that rack over there is actually 5 feet tall, and the leaves are above it, or they're already taller than the rack. So the leaves have already grown out of the mesh, metal mesh that I have placed there as a plant rack. So this is how the Sansevieria, supposedly a dark green clone of Robusta, or it has another tag with it, which is Sansevieria SP Sansevieria. So I'm not sure, but that is the tag, and most Sansevierias look like that. This one is also Sansevieria, and it is said to be also part of the Robusta species. So Sansevieria, this is the dark green clone, which when it grew, it looked so much like the Sansevieria SP Sansevieria. Also, star coronary, when you already grow, if you have already grown it to sizes are large. It looks like also the species S or the Sansevieria sp Sansevieria. So the tag in the market is because they have this trait or characteristics wherein the new leaves would be would look like neon green. At times it would be really yellowish that people would say it's a variegation, though it's not. So this is how your star canary would look like. There are two star canaries that are in the market. One is having the Pawisi form, and the other one is having the SP Sansevieria. So this one before is also labeled as star canary, although this is a Pawisi form, and you would no longer see the yellowish trait from it. So it just became Pawisi that has new growth, which is having a lighter green coloration. So that's it. So going back, we'll have to remove this Sansevieria species, which is disticha or disticha, and we'll have the Robuscula transferred in here so that it can be with the suspected same species that it looks a lot compared to this disticha, which is out of place in this side of the wall. So I'll be back, and then we'll have a video of the plant replanting it, and we will discuss more about the Sansevieria known as Robuscula. Alright folks, so we're back, and right now what we're doing is we're going to, or we're prepping the location or the spot where we are going to transfer the specimen that we have. And actually I just found out, because I was looking for pictures and trying to identify what really Robuscula is, because as what I have known and what was posted in International Sansevieria Society, actually the person Vich Sang Pithak, he is from Thailand, and I guess his friend is also from Thailand, and they got the specimen of something that looks like a Robusta crossed with Pinguicula. And that friend of Vich, because they do not know what to call it, they made up a name for it, Robuscula, but actually they got it from the Philippines without a name, or without identification, or without parentage, and they just assumed that it is a hybrid, which it is not, because that was 20 years ago. There are only few people in the Philippines by that time who knew how to cross Sansevierias, namely Pipito Mercado, and the other one would be, I guess it's Boyet's team of Arids and Aroids. So that settles that the name Robuscula is a made-up name, and it is assumed for the plant because the plant, as I checked, matches the profile of the species that Chris Bales collected from Warshiik, Somalia, and it is actually BAIC3. So Chris gave it a collection ID of BAIC3, which is now part of the disticha species or disticha species. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrongly, but those are the only two ways to pronounce it. This either disticha or disticha. And then I saw a picture from Sansevieria Fidan flora, and it exactly matches the pictures that I think Zero is the one running the Sansevieria Fidan flora website on, or web or group page or page on FB. and he posted in there Chris Bale's collections like BAIC2. So the BAIC2 is actually the one that Andres was holding, or had pulled out from there. And what we're going to put as replacement for the BAIC2, which is also disticha, is the BAIC3, which is also part of the disticha species of Sansevieria, or disticha species of Sansevieria. So I have checked and found out that it looks so much alike the BAIC 3, and there are other people's already posting that Robuscula is really BAIC 3, so therefore Robuscula is a false name. It's supposed to be a combination of Robusta and Pingicula put together. That's why it's Robuscula, but that is a made-up name. The species back then, 20 years ago, what they got from the Philippines was not a hybrid. Like I said, there are very few people by that time who know how to cross or breed hybrids of Sansevieria. So what they got 20 years back from the Philippines is actually a species. There are some Filipino collectors before that collects species. Pipito Mercado was also an avid collector of the Sansevieria species. There are other Filipino who are not known who have been collecting Sansevieria species as well. So by 20 years ago, there is very few Sansevieria hybrids at that time, or there are few Sansevierias that were bred as hybrids by that time. So what probably Vit's friend got from the Philippines is the species disticha BAIC3, collected by Chris Bales, and that was collected at Warshiik, Somalia. So right now, Andres is almost finished prepping the spot that we are going to transfer the I'm just gonna call it BAIC3 from now on, because I don't really agree with the made up name called Robuscula, because it's really not a hybrid. It was a species 20 years ago that someone from Thailand got from the Philippines, and they don't know what to call it with, so they made up a name for it. So onwards, I'm not going to use the ID Robuscula for it, because it isn't, and I'm going to use probably Sansevieria disticha BAIC3. So again, it's Chris Bales who collected or discovered the BAIC3, and later on we'll discuss the form with regards to it, and BAIC2. BAIC2 actually is a larger plant compared to BAIC3. The 3 is actually compact in growth and much shorter. The 2 is quite larger, like what you saw earlier when Andres pulled out the disticha BAIC2 from that spot. It was almost as big as him. So in a bit we'll be transferring the BAIC3 on this spot, and then as we do that, we will be discussing the characteristics of the species as well. So this next one, we are also prepping the BAIC3 disticha or disticha to be removed from the pot. So we are currently removing the rocks because it has been there for years. I have been growing this specimen for years as well. And at first, I really thought that it's also Robuscula, but upon research or further checking about the information with regards to the plant and connecting the dots. Also, it was helpful that some people were discussing it on the International Sansevieria Society group on Facebook. We were able to. I was able to piece through what really is Robuscula. So, like I mentioned, Robuscula is a made-up name. It's not a cross between Robusta and Pinguicula. It's not a hybrid. It was really a species that was acquired from the Philippines 20 years ago from a friend of Vich from Thailand. So it's just that Thailand is really aggressive in selling Sansevierias back then, that the name Robuscula stuck with this species. So instead of it being identified with what really the species is, it was assumed to be a hybrid and got a name of Robuscula. So um, again, folks, what was taken from the Philippines before and brought to Thailand was not a hybrid. It is a species, and it is part of the disticha species of Sansevieria. Uh, there are uh, there are a few that are part of the disticha or disticha species as of the moment. That's BAIC2, BAIC3, the one that we are dealing with right now, the one that we're removing from the pot, and then the other one is Lavernos 23154 or Lav 23154, which is the dwarf samurai. So there's also there was also discussion with regards to BAIC3 being posted on our group, and then someone said that insisted that it's a dwarf samurai or it's a Lav 23154. So the difference between them is that BAIC3 is darker in color, like what you see right now. It's dark green in color, while um, Dwarf Samurai is actually lighter green in color. And then what's important will be the spikes on them, because some Sansevierias can be identified by checking the leaf tips or the spikes, especially with species like Perori, species like Robusta. They can be differentiated by looking at the leaf tips or by comparing the leaf tips. So, what's different between Dwarf Samurai and the BAIC3 is that a BAIC3 has the sharper leaf tips or sharper spike. Dwarf Samurai is actually having a fat leaf tip, and the spikes are not that sharp. They're blunt, and they're kinda they're roundish as compared to the leaf tips of BAIC3 that's very sharp and thin. So Dwarf Samurai is actually blunt compared to BAIC3, and then the leaf tips are also shorter, blunt, shorter, and fatter compared to BAIC3, which is more dangerous compared to Dwarf Samurais. And right now you can see that Andres is going to bring it to the location we're going to transfer it, and he's also careful not to poke his eye while doing so. So actually, it's very the specimen is very tall. It's also quite large in size because is half of the size of Andres' body, and he's having a hard time to balance it because it might break in two. It's having a hard time trying to support itself at the moment because as they mature, the upper portion would be heavy, and in most occasions they will droop due to the heavy top that they have. So that's why we have a plan to position it or put it in a location near the wall so that we can do something with regards to it drooping in the future. We could perhaps tie it on the sides of the wall, or put a nail on the wall, then put ropes on it, and put or have something to stabilize the heavy top of it. Perhaps tie it with the nail on the wall. That's what we're planning, instead of where we got it from, on the rack on top, which is very dangerous because when stray cats go to the top of the roof, they might pounce on it. So I made the decision to have this specimen repositioned and replanted to this spot to save it from that disaster. So also when we're also hit by typhoons most often, and heavy or strong winds may be also one of the factors that will make this specimen fall off that top layer rack. So it's safer for us to replant it now, while it's still kind of manageable. So now it's in the location where we got the Sansevieria BAIC 2, and then we got the BAIC 3 on there. So there you go. You can see that BAIC 3 is really compact in form. That's also one of the characteristics that it shares with Dwarf Samurai, which is the Labranos 2 3154. They are both compact in form. The leaves grow very close to each other compared to the BAIC 2 disticha, which is growing very long leaves, and they're not growing in compact form like what you see in front of you right now. So we're actually just prepping it, and then we're finishing up having it replanted. My soil mix is still the same. There's a little bit of ground soil already mixed up with it. Doesn't do any harm with the plant, because like you have seen, what we took from there was a much bigger plant. So the soil mix, in my opinion, doesn't really matter, it as long as it grows in an environment that makes it thrive. Not too much moisture, not raining all the time, and soil will dry off. Sansevierias will thrive in locations that get rain, but not really too much, that the moisture will stay on the soil. The soil has to dry off so that your plant would not be endangered in having their root rot. So that's one of the tips that I can give you. And like what you see on this location, the soil that we dug on it, although there were a couple of typhoons that hit us, the soil that you see are not that wet. They're very dry, and actually there's a roof on top of it, but not that wide for it not to receive rain. So it still receives rain, but not too much. So that's where it's going to be placed and situated. We're just finishing up by putting the rocks. Actually, they're not rocks, but they're crushed concrete cement that we recycled because we are out of rocks to put in there. So I guess that's all that I can discuss as of the moment. So folks, if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to comment below, and thank you for watching.